There are stories that time cannot erase. Some are kept as scars, others as treasures. Today, I want to share something I've carried with me for decades, a letter. But it's not just any letter. It's one that never reached its destination. This is the story of Jack, my friend. My brother on the battlefield. It was 1944. Winter in Europe was brutal. The cold punished us just as much as the enemy. We were somewhere near Belgium, waiting for reinforcements that never came. That's where I met Jack. He was a simple guy from Kansas. He had a smile that seemed out of place in the war, but also a courage that inspired all of us. Jack talked about her as if she were an angel. He always said, "When this war is over, I'm going to build the most beautiful house for Mary." One night, Jack called me. He had a piece of paper in his hands, struggling to write. He said, "I'm trying to write a letter to Mary, but the words never seem enough." I tried to help. I suggested a few phrases. He finished writing, folded the paper carefully, and handed it to me. He said, "If something happens to me, promise me she'll get this. It's all that matters." The attack came like a storm. There was no time to think, only to act. In the middle of the chaos, I saw Jack get hit. That moment. It's etched in my memory. I held Jack in my arms as he said his last words. He entrusted me with his final wish, to deliver that letter. Shortly after the attack, I was captured. For months, I was a prisoner, keeping that letter hidden among my belongings. It was the only thing that gave me the strength to keep going. I kept telling myself, I'll get out of here. Mary will get this letter. When the war ended, I returned home with the letter still intact. But finding Mary wasn't so simple. Jack never mentioned her last name, only that she was from Kansas. I wrote letters to local newspapers, visited small towns, but I couldn't find any trace of her. It was like searching for a needle in a haystack. With every door I knocked on, hope faded a little more. For years, I kept that letter as a relic. I never had the courage to open it until I realized it might be time to let the world know Jack's story. The letter began like this. "My dearest Mary, if you're reading this, it means I didn't make it home. But please never forget that every moment with you was a gift." Jack wrote about how much he loved his wife, how much he missed her. He talked about our dream of coming home and starting a new life. He ended by saying, "Be happy, Mary, for me. Live the life we always dreamed of." Jack never made it home, but in a way he lives on in every word of that letter. His story, his love, his courage, all of it endures. I hope that by hearing this, you remember that war can take many things, but it can never erase the love and memory of those who are gone.